All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Centre State Science Conclave at Science City in Ahmedabad this morning. India and China to complete disengagement process in Gogra Hot Springs area of Ladakh by Monday. Direct tax collections in the country surge by 35.46% to nearly 6.5 lakh crore rupees. RBI to prepare white list of legal apps centered to ensure that only legal loan apps are hosted on App Store. Government amends broken rice export policy to ensure adequate domestic availability. Supreme Court says if stray dogs attack people, those who feed them could be held liable. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 3-day visit to Saudi Arabia today. King Charles of UK names William and Kate as the Prince and Princess of Wales. Norway's Kasper Ruud advances to men's singles final of US Open tennis, beating Karen Khachanov of Russia. And in Asia Cup cricket, Sri Lanka beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in last Super 4 stage match in Dubai. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate the 2-day Centre State Science Conclave today at Science City in Ahmedabad. The Prime Minister will also address the gathering on the occasion. The conclave is in line with the Prime Minister's relentless efforts to facilitate innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. It will strengthen centre-state coordination and collaboration mechanisms and the spirit of cooperative federalism to build a robust science, technology and innovation STI ecosystem across the country. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will grace the concluding session of the conclave tomorrow. We have more from our correspondent.
The 2-day conclave will witness the participation of more than 250 delegates from across the country, including science and technology ministers and representatives of state and union territories. The conclave will include 9 sessions on different thematic areas, including digital healthcare, doubling private sector investment in R&D by 2030, technological intervention for improving farmers' income, and clean energy for all. Chief Minister of Gujarat Bhupendra Patel and Union Minister of State for Science and Technology Jitendra Singh will grace the inauguration ceremony. Aparna Khund, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a productive conversation on phone with his Norwegian counterpart Jonas Gahr Støre yesterday. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said they reviewed the India-Norway bilateral cooperation and discussed new initiatives in climate finance. External Affairs Ministry said in a release that the leaders discussed bilateral and international issues of mutual interest, including initiatives to mobilize climate finance for renewable energy projects in developing countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized the importance of ensuring equitable, timely and adequate climate finance for the developing world and appreciated Mr. Store's commitment to this cause. The two leaders reviewed various ongoing bilateral cooperation initiatives, including the task force on blue economy. They also expressed satisfaction at the increasing India-Norway collaboration in areas like green hydrogen, shipping, science and technology, and education.
The gross direct tax collections has reached 6,48,000 crore rupees up till the 8th of this month, which is 35.46% higher than the gross collections for the corresponding period of last year. The Finance Ministry said the provisional figures of direct tax collections continue to register steady growth. The ministry said refunds amounting to 1,19,000 crore rupees have been issued during the period from the 1st of April till the 8th of September of this year, which is over 65% higher than the refunds issued for the same period in the preceding year. The Reserve Bank of India will prepare a white list of all legal apps, and the Union Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology will ensure that only legal apps are hosted on app stores. This decision was taken at a high-level meeting on issues related to illegal loan applications, which was chaired by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. It was decided in the meeting that the RBI will monitor the mule or rented accounts that may be used for money laundering and accordingly cancel dormant accounts, dormant non-bank financial institutions or NBFCs to avoid misuse. The RBI will also ensure that registration of payment aggregators is completed within a time frame and no unregistered payment aggregator be allowed to function after that. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs has been asked to identify shell companies and to deregister them to prevent misuse. Ms. Sitharaman expressed concern over rising instances of illegal loan applications offering loans mostly to vulnerable sections of society, offering high interest rates and then using intimidatory tactics to recover the amount. She also highlighted the possibility of money laundering, tax evasion and data breaches by such aggregators. The minister told officials that steps should be taken to increase cyber awareness for customers, bank employees, law enforcement agencies and other stakeholders.
The government has said export policy of broken rice has been amended to ensure adequate domestic availability. Secretary, Department of Food and Public Distribution, Sudhanshu Pandey, today emphasized that this has been done in order to ensure adequate availability of broken rice for consumption by domestic poultry industry and for other animal feedstock and to produce ethanol for successful implementation of EBP, Ethanol Blending Program. He said this while briefing media in New Delhi. About 50 to 60 lakh metric tons of broken rice is produced annually in India, which is mainly used as poultry feed and feed for other animals. It is also used as a feedstock by the grain-based distilleries for producing ethanol, which is supplied to oil marketing companies for blending with petrol. The BJP has announced the name of former Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Deb as the party's candidate for Rajya Sabha by poll from Tripura. The Rajya Sabha seat is vacant due to the resignation of Dr. Manik Saha, who was appointed as the Chief Minister of the state and was later elected to the Tripura Assembly.
The All India Coordination Meeting of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh will begin in Chhattisgarh state capital Raipur starting today. The 3-day meeting will continue till the 12th of September. Besides RSS Sar Sanghchalak, Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, Sar Kariwah, Dattatreya Hosabale, 5 Sah Saryakarwah and other office bearers of the Sangh will attend the meeting. Talking to media in Raipur, the All India Publicity Head of the RSS, Sunil Ambekar, said that in the All India Coordination Meeting, prominent office bearers of 36 organizations inspired by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh will participate. Various activities, achievements and upcoming goals of these organizations will be discussed during the 3 days. On this occasion, the office bearers of these organizations will also share their experiences.
राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ की अखिल भारतीय समन्वय बैठक रायपुर में 10 सितंबर से 12 सितंबर तक होने वाली है। इसमें संघ से प्रेरित स्वयंसेवकों द्वारा संचालित लगभग 36 संगठन के प्रमुख पदाधिकारी सहभागी होंगे और इसमें ये सारे लोग अपने अपने अनुभव, अपने कार्य, उपलब्धि के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे और जो कार्य ये सामूहिक रूप से करते हैं उसके बारे में भी चर्चा करेंगे, आगामी दिशा के बारे में भी चर्चा करेंगे।
The Supreme Court has observed that if stray dogs attack people, those who feed them could be held liable, while emphasizing on the need to find a solution to the menace of stray dogs. The Apex Court said people who routinely feed stray dogs could be made responsible for their vaccination. A bench of Justices Sanjeev Khanna and J.K. Maheshwari was hearing petitions in connection with the stray dogs menace in Kerala. The bench emphasized the need to protect innocent people from being attacked by stray dogs.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. From 15th August, the series is being broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of Green Revolution in India.
All India Radio played a significant role during the Green Revolution period in the country. The Green Revolution, ably led by agriculture scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan in the late 60s, has indeed come a full circle. A plant geneticist by training, Dr. Swaminathan's contributions to the agricultural renaissance of India have led to his being widely referred to as the scientific leader of the Green Revolution movement.
Synergy between technology and public policy is exceedingly important. Technology alone cannot do anything. For example, we had high-yielding varieties of seeds, but if they cannot be multiplied, if they cannot be taken to the farmer, given the inputs, the seed itself will not do anything at all. So we require a political administration which is progressive, which is responsive to the people's needs.
American agronomist Norman Borlaug's research of genetic mutation in plants helped start the Green Revolution. Borlaug expanded his coordinated breeding efforts to India, succeeding a large increase in wheat production and forever changing the face of agriculture for the whole world.
There are a lot of barriers you have to go through in trying to change a stagnant traditional agriculture in a food deficit nation. Everybody says the peasant farmer in these countries is resistant to change. That's not true. If he sees demonstrated on his own land that package of technology can double, triple, quadruple like happened in India and later in China.
Addressing a public rally in Prayagraj of Uttar Pradesh in 1965, then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri gave the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan to enthuse the soldiers to defend India and simultaneously cheering farmers to do their best to increase the production of food grains to reduce dependence on imports.
आज हमारे देश के लिए जरूरी एक जय जवान और एक जय किसान और फिर उसी से सारे देश का एक जय हिंद का नारा लगता है। आपसे आशा करूंगा कि आप उसे दोहराएंगे। एक तो जय जवान, जय जवान, जय किसान, जय किसान, जय हिंद।
India today has taken a giant leap into digital agriculture. Backed by ambitious schemes of the central government, the new age Indian farmer is now being empowered with cutting-edge enabling agri-tech like big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, remote sensing, drones and new technologies. Through AIR, farmers are apprised of the government schemes like Prime Minister's Krishi Sinchai Yojana, Har Khet Ko Pani, More Crop Per Drop, including emerging micro-irrigation technologies, artificial intelligence-enabled water conservation techniques, and climate-resilient seed varieties. AIR has stepped up its activities of agriculture broadcast with the launch of Kisan Vani program, broadcast from 96 stations across the country. The agriculture programs are mounted in regional and local dialects from different stations. Local radio stations also broadcast regular programs on rural development.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Center State Science Conclave at Science City in Ahmedabad this morning. India and China to complete disengagement process in Gogra Hot Springs area of Ladakh by Monday. Direct tax collections in the country surged by 35.46% to nearly 6.5 lakh crore rupees. RBI to prepare white list of legal apps center to ensure that only legal loan apps are hosted on App Store. Government amends broken rice export policy to ensure adequate domestic availability. Supreme Court says if stray dogs attack people, those who feed them could be held liable. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to embark on 3-day visit to Saudi Arabia today. King Charles of UK names William and Kate as the Prince and Princess of Wales. Norway's Kasper Ruud advances to men's singles final of US Open tennis, beating Karen Khachanov of Russia. And in Asia Cup cricket, Sri Lanka beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in last Super 4 stage match in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग। आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Welcome back to the morning news on All India Radio. India and China have agreed to complete disengagement process in Gogra Hot Springs area of Ladakh by Monday. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India and China mutually agreed to take the talks forward. He said both sides also agreed to resolve the remaining issues along LAC and restore peace and tranquility in India-China border areas. The 16th round of talks between the core commanders of India and China was held at Tushul Moldo meeting point on the 17th of July this year. Mr. Bagchi said since then the two sides had maintained regular contact to build on the progress achieved during the talks to resolve the relevant issues along the LAC in the western sector of India-China border areas. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will embark on a 3-day visit to Saudi Arabia beginning today. This will be his first visit to the kingdom as the External Affairs Minister of India. During his visit, he will co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Committee on Political, Security, Social and Cultural Cooperation with the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud. The two ministers will undertake a comprehensive review of the entire bilateral relationship. Dr. Jaishankar will also meet other Saudi dignitaries as well as Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, Dr. Naif Falah Mubarak Al-Hajraf. Both sides will review the bilateral relations and discuss ways to enhance them. The EAM will also interact with the Indian community in Saudi Arabia.
Britain's King Charles has named his eldest son William and daughter-in-law Kate the Prince and Princess of Wales. In his first speech to the nation since the death of his mother Queen Elizabeth on Thursday, King Charles said he is proud to make his heir William the Prince of Wales, a title Charles had held since 1958. William and Kate, both 40, have taken on central roles within the royal family in recent years, appearing regularly in public and increasingly taking their 3 young children to events such as the Queen's Platinum Jubilee earlier this year. King Charles held his first in-person audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss at the Buckingham Palace yesterday. Today, Charles will be officially proclaimed king at a meeting of the Accession Council held at St. James Palace, followed by proclamations across the nation in a show of traditional British pomp and ceremony. For the first time, the Accession Council will be televised. Britain's King Charles III paid a heartfelt tribute to late Queen Elizabeth II and vowed to serve as monarch with loyalty, respect and love.
Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding and example.
In Morning Matters, now let's listen to a special report on life and times of Queen Elizabeth II. Script and narration is done by Omvesh Upadhyay from AIR News.
Britain's longest-serving monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, dies at the age of 96. The royal family informed that Queen Elizabeth died peacefully in Scotland on Thursday after a long-drawn battle with health problems since last year. Newly elected United Kingdom Prime Minister Liz Truss paid solemn tribute to the monarch, describing the Queen as the rock on which modern Britain was built. After the news of Queen Elizabeth II's demise, tributes started pouring in from various political leaders, country heads, and also the United Nations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled Queen Elizabeth's death, calling the Queen a stalwart of our times. PM Modi hailed her inspiring leadership to her nation and people and said that she personified dignity and decency in public life. PM Modi also recalled their memorable meetings during his visits to Britain in 2015 and 2018. Her first state visit to India was in 1961 when she accompanied her husband, the late Prince Philip, toward Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata and visited the Taj Mahal in Agra. She also paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat in New Delhi. The royal couple was in India as guest of honor at the Republic Day parade on the invitation of the then President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
To the Queen and Prince Philip, the government and people of India stretched out the hand of welcome. President Prasad, Premier Nehru and Vice President Krishnan were at the airport to meet them. To arrive in India for the first time is an unforgettable experience for anyone in any age. How much more so for the Queen, for whom the magic of air travel in a few hours translated the January gloom of London into the tropical brilliance of New Delhi. Dr. Prasad sincerely spoke for the whole Republic of India in bidding the royal visitors a most warm welcome. The Vice President, as well as Mr. Nehru and his sister, added his greeting.
Dressed in a signature fur coat and hat, the Queen addressed a massive crowd at jam-packed Delhi's Ramlila ground. In one of her address, Queen Elizabeth said that the warmth and hospitality of Indian people and the richness and diversity of India itself have been an inspiration to all of us. Her final visit to India was to mark the 50th anniversary celebrations of India's independence, and for the first time she made a reference to difficult episodes of colonial history. Queen Elizabeth in her statement said, "It is no secret that there have been some difficult episodes in our past. Jallianwala Bagh is a distressing example. Over the years, the Queen has also hosted 3 Indian presidents, Dr. Radhakrishnan in 1963, R. Venkataraman in 1990, and Pratibha Patil in 2009. In 2009's State Bouquet address for President Patil at Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth said that Britain and India have a long shared history which today is a source of great strength in building a new partnership fit for this new country. Queen Elizabeth said that nearly 2 million of our own citizens are tied by descent and enduring family links to India. They represent one of the United Kingdom's most dynamic and successful communities.
Relations between our two countries are built on strong and deep foundations and are set fair for the 21st century. The United Kingdom is proud to have more than 30,000 Indian students in our universities every year. In the future, we hope that many more British students will go to study in Indian universities, making this a genuinely two-way exchange of learning. Your visit will also celebrate the growing and dynamic economic relationship between our two countries. We look forward to the expansion of this in many spheres, from manufacturing to filmmaking, from joint research to the development of cutting-edge green technologies.
Queen Elizabeth II reigned for more than 70 years, and the majority of people have never known anyone else on the throne. During her reign, Queen Elizabeth saw 15 prime ministers serve Britain, from Winston Churchill in 1952 to Liz Truss being the latest one in 2022. Many believe it was Queen Elizabeth's avoidance of any political controversy as a head of state, and her refusal to bend the monarchy to the winds of fashion that enabled Elizabeth to trump in the role that would earn her the love and respect of so many as the head of the nation. Unprotected by tradition and unprepared by precedent, Queen Elizabeth drove her reign alone.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah reached Jaisalmer yesterday evening on a two-day visit to Rajasthan. Mr. Shah was apprised of the security situation and operational activities along the Indo-Pak international border at sector headquarters of BSF at Dabla. More from our correspondent.
The Home Minister will lay the foundation stone of a border tourism development project in Tanout area this morning. Mr. Shah will pay tribute to the martyrs at Vijay Stambh in Tanout and will visit the temple. In the 1971 India-Pakistan war, our brave soldiers had played an important role at Longiwala post situated near Tanout. After this program, Mr. Shah is scheduled to leave for Jodhpur, where he will address the concluding session of the National Working Committee meeting of the BJP's OBC Morcha. He will also address the BJP's Booth President Sankalp Mahasammelan there. Jitendra Dwivedi, EIR News, Jaipur.
Moving on to sports, Norwegian tennis star Casper Ruud defeated Karen Khachanov of Russia in 4 sets at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York to enter the final of the men's singles at the US Open 2022. He won the first set 7-5 against Karen Khachanov after the contest entered a tiebreaker. Casper Ruud then registered a 6-2 win in the second set before Karen Khachanov could bounce back with a 7-5 win in the following set. The Russian failed to give a good fight to Ruud, who comfortably broke his serve twice and won the fourth set 6-2. And in Asia Cup T20 cricket, Sri Lanka defeated Pakistan by 5 wickets in the last Super 4 stage match at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium last night. Chasing 122 for victory, Sri Lanka overhauled the target for 5 wickets and 18 balls to spare. Pratham Nissanka scored an unbeaten 55 of 48 for Sri Lanka. Earlier put into bat, Pakistan were all out, scoring only 121 in 19.1 overs. Babar Azam scored 30 of 29 for Pakistan, while Vanindu Hasaranga picked up 3 wickets for Sri Lanka. Both teams will now play the final on Sunday.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 25 and maximum will be around 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with intermittent rain. Minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 33 degrees. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 34 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The Tribune, quoting the Ministry of External Affairs, writes, India-China troops to disengage at Hot Springs by September 12th. Only RBI okayed loan apps to make it to app stores, reports the Economic Times. A headline in the Indian Express says DU's undergraduate admissions portal to open on Monday. Vande Bharat trains to be manufactured in Chennai, production to begin in October, reports the Hindu. As Queen Elizabeth II is being mourned by her family, fans and admirers, her death has set in motion a finely choreographed, planned to the last detail over decades. Charles to be formally proclaimed king today, writes the Statesman, while Hindustan Times mentions India announces state mourning tomorrow. And finally, Kartavya Path opens to public with a cultural extravaganza. Toilets, parking, better lighting added to stretch, notes the Hindu.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Centre State Science Conclave at Science City in Ahmedabad this morning. India and China to complete disengagement process in Gogra Hot Springs area of Ladakh by Monday. Direct tax collections in the country surged by 35.46% to nearly 6.5 lakh crore rupees. RBI to prepare whitelist of legal apps, Centre to ensure that only legal loan apps are hosted on App Store. Government amends broken rice export policy to ensure adequate domestic availability. Supreme Court says if stray dogs attack people, those who feed them could be held liable. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to embark on a 3-day visit to Saudi Arabia today. King Charles of UK names William and Kate as the Prince and Princess of Wales. Norway's Casper Ruud advances to men's singles final of US Open tennis, beating Karen Khachanov of Russia And in Asia Cup cricket, Sri Lanka beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in last Super 4 stage match in Dubai. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.